That was a lot of information. Let's make a quick recap to help you memorize what we just learned. Now, an information security policy highlights the importance of the ISMS to the organization and sets the tone for all related activities. It empowers top management to mandate participation from everyone in the organization, similar to how a government issues laws and regulations to establish societal norms. This is why defining and publishing the information security policy should come immediately after determining the scope. It ensures that the entire organization is aligned and committed from the outset. Now, here you can see the project plan and the steps that we've covered as part of step 4. We kick things off by having a look at objectives and information security objectives in particular. Remember, objectives have either to be mentioned within the policy or you have to include a framework for setting and achieving them. Now, when it comes to objectives, the SMART methodology is a best practice approach that you can use to define and formulate your objectives. They should be specific, measurable if practical, achievable, realistic, and timely. So you have to set a deadline to make sure that at some point in the future, you actually try at least to achieve them. Here is another look at the example objectives that we presented to you. So sometimes an objective is measurable, sometimes it is not. So for example, obtaining the ISO 27001 certification is a common example that many organizations define when they're first implementing this standard. Is it really a KPI or something that you can measure? No, it's either yes or no. But on the other hand, there's objectives like reducing the mean time to detect an incident, which is measurable, and you have a target value that you can always compare your actual mean time to detect an incident, and so you can measure and track progress towards it. Both is totally fine, but from a managerial standpoint, it's of course a lot better if you have more objectives that are measurable. All right, finally, we had a look at the information security policy as the most high-level document in your documentation pyramid according to ISO 27001. There's a few mandatory contents that you have to cover within your policy. For example, it has to be appropriate for your purpose. You have to include these objectives, as I just mentioned in the beginning of this review. It has to include a commitment to meet the security requirements of your stakeholders. So this is something for top management. Remember, they are supposed to establish this policy, and so they have to express this commitment so that the entire organization is working towards this goal. And finally, we have to include a commitment for continual improvement. Remember, it's a management system, so we want to get better over time and take the next step in our maturity ladder to protect our organization and to become more secure. And that's what you need to know about information security policies. Let's move on to step 5.